Happy Friday, folks. Welcome back to Park to Prem. We've got 4 matches in today's episode, and let me tell you now, this man is the man in form, and I can't quite believe it. Yes, folks, I hope you guys are doing absolutely amazing. It is the 20th of November in-game. We have done a little bit of transfer business since you were last here, but mostly playing matches, and we are still looking really good. And well, let's talk about the transfer first and foremost. There's been various youngsters I've been looking at signing. I'm trying to find some players who are going to be 18 years old, longer term can maybe get homegrown at club. I'm thinking ahead to Europe here, really. And I'll tell you now, Ramirez, I think, fits the bill. This guy is an 18-year-old right-back who can also play centre-back, but with 7 jumping reach. Highly doubt he's going to play there. He's not exactly the most offensive attacking fullback option, but what I will say is his physicals look great. His mentals look really solid, and if he can just become a better technical player, I think he could be really, really good. For £1 million as a long-term punt, I like the look of him. Now, since you were last here, we have played 5 matches. We have won all of them. We've looked in red-hot form, but today's matches aren't going to be a test for us. Admittedly, the opening game in this recent run of results, not exactly a test. Cardiff City, rock bottom of the league. We beat them easily. And from there, we took the momentum of a win against Cardiff into a midweek game against Blackburn. It was 1-1 at half-time, but in the second half, we really pressed home our advantage. Aguiar, man of the match in this game, he grabbed 2 goals. This was the first of the 2. It was also his first of the season. I mentioned he's been the inform man. He looked really, really good in this game as we were rather dominant. He put in another man of the match performance in the very next game at Vicarage Road, away against Watford. A hat-trick for him, getting on the end of crosses from Juve and Garcia for 2 of the goals in this game. And I can tell you now, him finding some form here has come at a great time because Mohseni, who started the season amazingly, really just hasn't been very good. When you look at the 2 players, though, as your first and second choice striker, I think we're a little spoiled for choice. Statistically, they are both still performing really, really well, but Reza has slowed down. In the last couple of games, we have been playing him at centre attacking mid. That was something we had to do in this game against Southampton. In the end, a Haddad header from a set piece was the difference maker. Not exactly a classic, this one. Cardozo whipped it in, but Southampton are a good little team, and to win on the road was nice. And most recently, against Hull City, we won 5-1. They sacked their manager midweek going into this game. Mohseni kicked off this attack with the little run through. He would actually be the man who finished off this move as well, through the middle. Lovely little bit of play there. He did go on to grab a second in this game later on in the second half, and we have continued to look really, really good. You'll notice as well here in this game, there's players like Gordon in the midfield where I've brought in some of the youngsters, promoted them, even Creti getting a run in the first team too. And even when we've rotated things around, we've been able to pop up with some really good goals. I mentioned playing Mohseni at centre attacking mid. That has not been from choice, sadly. Joel Ambrosio got another injury. He's actually fractured his back. Out for 2 months of that. Considering this man was the whole reason we switched to having a centre attacking mid, obviously, it's a massive, massive blow. And in some other injury news, Maria Garcia out for the foreseeable future with a sports hernia. I say the foreseeable future. He's missed a lot of games lately, but he should be back for the later games today. Annoyingly, Creti, who has had a run in the first team at right back and has actually looked really, really good in the team at right back. Look at these performances he's been putting in. He's suspended for the first game today, so we are in a bit of a pickle. It means I either have to bring Jonah O'Connor in to play right wing back for the first game, or I give Jimenez some minutes. The 18-year-old has actually started 4 games for us this season, only 1 of those in the league. He can technically play at right wing back, although I'm not sure if he's actually really a good right wing back. But at the same time, I'm half tempted to just try and give him some game time because he has been improving so far this year. So looking at the league table, we are still top and pretty, but today is going to be a test for us. We have got Burnley to play, we've got Wolverhampton Wanderers to play, Millwall, and also pre-season favourites for promotion in Sunderland. These are 4 games where if we keep the winning run going, I really start to get carried away. In terms of team stats, you can see here we have the most goals and the most shots in the league. The defensive solidity that was great for us last year has kind of vanished. But going forward, we are looking really lethal. And in fact, when we look at the top performers in the league by average rating, it's a really fun mix of players. BJS is up there, Maria Garcia is up there, Aguiar is there, and even Mohseni, who I mentioned has had a bit of a stinky run of form lately. He got 2 assists in our most recent game. Prior to that, he had been quiet. Maybe centre attacking mid is a position to try him out in for this next run of games. Speaking of which, as I said, 4 matches to do today. There are no away days as a result of that, but I want to put the focus on these games. Win these, keep the momentum going, and I start to get carried away. Lose these, and I do panic. Now, our first opposition today are Millwall. They lost in the playoffs last year, but if we just rewind to last season, going into kind of the last couple of months, they were right up there at the top of the table, and they had arguably the worst run of form of any team in the Championship over the last 2 or so months. They bottled promotion. They're going to want to beat us today. Now, I did want to play Jimenez at right back for this game. I have just seen his condition because I've made him available for the under-21s for 45 minutes, and he's clearly played 45 minutes. So I am regrettably going to have to go with O'Connor. In terms of the other fitness levels across the team, it's largely okay. There has been a little bit of a gap recently with an international break, so match sharpness has dropped. I do just want to quickly draw your attention, though, to the number of appearances by first-team players. I think it probably looks better on the full squad screen here, but yeah, if we do just look through players playing matches, you'll see here, I really have been trying to use the vast majority of the squad, and especially from an attacking point of view, the output we've had from players has been impressive. BJS, absolutely stand out with 11 assists and 8 goals. Aguiar, really good goals to game ratio. Maseni, quiet, but 2 assists in our most recent game. I think it is this attack here that has really been carrying us so far this year. Julio, who popped off last episode, has been quiet lately. He's also yet to get an assist for us, which is kind of bizarre, given he does play out on that left-hand side. Anyway, Aguiar is leading the line today. Maseni in that free role. The rest of the team, with the exception of right wing-back, kind of what you'd expect, of course, from the new arrival, has been slowly but surely settling into the team, hasn't scored since his banger yesterday. We are favourites today. Let's play like it. I feel like that is not a team talk option I had last season against Millwall. They are playing a 4-3-3. I feel like that suits us. Now, you may recall that last episode, in back-to-back matches, I changed from the shorter passing to more direct passing, and it really worked in our favour. That is a change I have since gone on to make as a permanent fixture of our system. I feel like in my mind the shorter passing was kind of to try and help us conserve possession and play a bit more sensibly, but actually because we play on the maximum pitch size and we are maybe a little bit light in midfield, sometimes there are gaps between our players for the opposition to kind of mark and, you know, block out passing lanes. Actually just being willing to go a little bit more direct has helped us just be a bit more fruitful when we do have the ball. Millwall in possession, though. We need to be wary here. I'm scared to get complacent. We've had a really, really good run so far this season. I want to keep the momentum up, but Millwall on the attack here in a dangerous area, and that is a really good finish. Now, I did note going into this game, Addons was Millwall's top goal scorer. I have not seen him on the pitch in this game. I'm not sure if he's injured, but I was thinking in his absence they might struggle for goals, but that was a really good finish. Haddad over a free kick in our own half here. Gives it to Cardozo. Should go left. Does go left. Sassy has displaced Juve in that starting spot. Gives it to Julio, who assists Aguiar. And I'll tell you what, that's brilliant, isn't it? I've told Julio that I wasn't happy about his lack of assists. He instantly gets one today. It's Aguiar's first live commentary goal of the season. His great goal-scoring form continues. And as for Julio, I didn't know he had a pass like that in his locker. Admittedly, that was a really easy pass we should be expecting him to make. He hasn't done it all season. Right, you know what? We're back in this game. Let's encourage the players. Give me some green, happy, smiley faces. I want to really try and take the game to Millwall now. Millwall bringing the ball forward on this near side. Ambrosino to the byline. He was involved in their previous goal. We need to be a little bit wary. Ball at the edge of the area. Always a little bit scary, but plenty of players back for us here. Ball is played in, though. The goal scorer gives it wide to Patterson, who could pull the trigger, does pull the trigger, and I'll tell you what, that's a really good goal, isn't it? We've seen some real bangers already this season. Add this one to the collection. Patterson finds a little bit of space, wriggles through, wraps his left foot around it, and Hardy had no chance. Okay, Hardy, let's try and build something out from the back here. I have noticed they are playing kind of a 2-on-2. Millwall out of possession. They're playing with 2 strikers, which you need to be wary of. Julio bringing it forward. Where are you going, Julio? Where are you going? I really thought he was going to score there. The keeper denies him. I mean, bizarrely, I don't think we've been awful, but we've not been great either. We've not really created enough, but it's not like we've shipped a load of opportunities against us, he says, as Millwall have a corner to end the half, and with 90 seconds left, if they get a third, panic. Ball at the edge of the area. I don't like this. How has Krivak been given so much space? Oh, it's so bad. I don't want to look. It's the worst own goal ever. We didn't deal with the initial corner here, and the corner taker ends up with so much space. He shoots. It hits the woodwork. And it's not Hardy's fault. He didn't know what was going on. It hits him on his arse and goes in. I was getting ready to, do a shouty half-time team talk. We could still get a goal back. Let's believe. Fram plays it forward. Aguiar takes it down. What a header that is. I don't think he meant it. Julio, inside. Aguiar scores. It's a replica of the previous one. It's 8 goals in 9. And maybe I can be a little less shouty at half-time. Aguiar here, did he mean to head it backwards? Is that a no-look header by the El Salvadorian? I'm going to choose to believe it was. Julio wraps his foot around it, pulls it in, and it was so similar to the previous one. Aguiar was never going to miss that. I mean, at the break, it's 3-2, but I feel like that flatters us a little. Like, our XG is really, really high compared to theirs because our shots were in the 6-yard box, but beyond the chances we've scored, we've not really done enough in this game. Now, Millwall are having plenty of the ball here, and I kind of want to try and stop that, and I think a good way to stop that is actually for us to try and have a little bit of the ball. One thing I did note was they were playing kind of a 4-4-2 out of possession, but with 2 strikers and then 2 deeper, wide attacking midfielders. So I think actually in the second half, I'm going to ask my fullbacks to start deeper, so there's a little bit more space in front of them when they do receive the ball. We'll play Sassy and O'Connor as wing-backs, I think, but basically in changing our distribution to the fullback area rather than the kind of flanks. Hopefully that is just going to let us hold on to the ball a tiny bit more. Now, in addition to that, they are playing with a 2-man defensive mid setup out of possession. So I'm going to change our progression here to focus the play through the middle. And I'm actually going to lower our attacking width even more. Our wing-back should still provide some kind of initial width. But my thinking basically boils down to they've got 2 wide midfielders here. Both our attacking wing-backs, when we do distribute it to the flanks, both our attacking wing-backs and our inside forwards are almost man-marked by Millwall's wider players. By having our 2 kind of fullbacks start deeper, just a little bit more space in front of them. And because they've got no one really occupying this centre attacking mid kind of space, I know they do have a tracking centre forward technically, but I feel like this is an area of the pitch we can look to force the play through, especially with Cardozo and Fram there. And because we're kind of in a 3-on-2 with our 2 defensive mids and a centre attacking mid against just their 2 defensive mids, I feel like there's a battle in the midfield that we can maybe try and win in the second half. That's my thinking. That is my logic. I am also going to change up our mentality to attacking here. We are the home team. I want to go for them a bit more. There were 5 goals in that first half. Nothing has happened through the first 15 minutes here. We need to try and change things up. Sassy has not had a good game. I'm going to bring in Choof. Haddad not having a good game. O'Connor having a stinker as well, to be honest. Kind of applies to our entire defence, doesn't it? I'm going to bring in Jimenez, despite the fact he's tired to play at right wing back, and I'm kind of half tempted to take off Haddad for home. It's a little bit orthodox making 3 changes at the back, but defensively we've not been good here. Maseni has been quiet through the middle, so let's bring in Kosahasi. And despite the fact that BJS hasn't performed out the right-hand side, he's just the kind of player who I think in this kind of game, you keep on the pitch because he can just have a moment of magic. We'll shout demand more. 25 minutes left. I just want to see a reason for optimism in this second half. I did note that Millwall do have the highest average possession in the league at like 60%. And I do feel like in this second half, whilst we've not wrestled back possession by any means, Millwall have actually created absolutely nothing here. Unfortunately, the same also applies for us. Okay, in possession, Cardozo, go play higher up the pitch as an advanced playmaker. Fram, just play as a centre mid as well. Kosahasi, you are going to go and play as a second striker, my friend. And out of possession, Kosahasi, just play as an attacking central outlet player. And Quinones, you can play as an outlet as well. We're just going to leave 4 players up at all times. Definitely a gamble only defending with 6 players, but we've got to try and do something here. And I'm hoping if we can go man for man on the counter-attack, that could prove fruitful for us. The ball is lumped forward here. Home wins the header and gets it to Fram. Our 2 centre mids now in a more advanced area to try and really take the game to them. Diouf, their left back, their number 5. There are loads of players to aim for in the middle. He fizzes it in. Aguiar denied a hat-trick. And I really hope that wasn't the chance, but it was a great bit of defending. Diouf on off the bench is looking active already. But with 7 minutes left, we need more. And now Millwall have a chance on the far side in our own half. The first of 4 matches today. I want to get off to a good start. At this point, I would very much take a draw. Oh, I'll tell you what. I think that was BJS there. If he picked out the right pass, we could have found ourselves on a crazy counter-attack. Oh my, what is that? What is that by Cardozo? It's a red card. He snapped a guy's legs like they're matchsticks. What are you doing, you dingus? I mean, if you're wondering what's the plan, Jack, I still need a goal, so we'll just play with 1 centre mid and hope it works. But, well, no Cardozo for the next game or 2. I feel like we do need fresh legs in this game. I'm going to bring in Tanko to play in the wide area. But down a man, down a goal. that's probably that. Unless, with 6 minutes left, something magical happens. A goal, perhaps. Could it happen? Will it happen? Let's go very attacking. Let's demand more. Is there a miracle in the making? I don't have any faith. Maybe I should. Or maybe I should be panicking. We've won the ball here, imagine. Kosahasi plays it forward. Tanko on off the bench. You have the legs, mate. Run. It's a 4-on-2. We've got to score here. Oh, we can't pull off the pass to Aguiar. And suddenly this game is just the most open game ever. We've squandered a 4-on-2. They're going to go up the other end and score. No, they're not. Hardy saves it. Oh, that was actually a real opportunity, wasn't it? Absolutely heartbreaking way to squander an opportunity late on. Bizarrely, it's probably the kind of chance that wouldn't have even been shown to me had it not been for the fact they had their own one-on-one on the counter-attack. I mean, we created a lot in the game. The goalkeeping, problematic. An uncharacteristic Charlie Hardy howler. We did make a lot of tactical changes at half-time in that game. And to be honest, Millwall didn't create a lot once we made those changes. But sadly, we didn't create anything either. Burnley in second did lose, so that's good, but sadly QPR and Millwall closing the gap on us slightly. Admittedly, there is still an 8-point cushion. First defeat in 9 games is unfortunate, and you can see here I've still got lots and lots of scout reports coming in for youngsters, yet the scouting does not rest here. Alejandro Cardenas plays in Argentina. He's quite good. He's on loan from Vélez. He is cheap. He's a right back. I don't really need more right backs, but he could play left back if I trained him there. And for £1 million, he would be quite good. Might also get a work permit. I really like his physicals. His technicals are lacking. My staff kind of like him too. Does he look good or am I going crazy? He is going to turn 19 in a few months. Which, I'd like him to be a little bit better, I think. Shout out to my scouts, by the way. If I just filter by players aged at most 21, you can see here, they have been busy scouting away and looking in every corner of the world. It's all about finding players of good current ability, good potential, and who actually want to join us. And that list is maybe shorter than you'd think. Anyway, you know what? The transfer window is closed for another 42 days. It's really not the priority right now. I need to dust us down. We've got to bounce back. Sunderland, a really difficult game. And now we have no Cardozo for it. Yeah, that's annoying. Right, gang, game number 2 today, Sunderland away. Sunderland pre-season were one of the favourites to be right up there towards the top of the table, and I'm going to be frank with you, their start to the season has been kind of stinky. I thought they'd maybe turned a corner, but they've drawn their last couple of games now. When you look at the season preview, they are very much firmly planted to be the favourites, and in terms of the Media Dream 11, they dominate it. I would like to point out at this point, we've climbed up to the dizzying heights of 13th on this graphic. Annoyingly, it does list our key man as Cardozo. Obviously, he's not around today. We have had to shuffle the team around just a little bit. In terms of changes, O'Loughlin getting a bit of a rest. We're going to bring in Home to play some more football. His jumping reach has now gone up to 20. It's convinced me that we should play him as a starter a little bit more. It definitely has nothing to do with the fact he's asked to leave due to his playing time. Elsewhere in the team, though, no real changes from that last game. I am going to persist with Masseni at centre attack in mid. Truthfully, due to the injury to Ambrosio and the suspension to Cardozo, I don't really have an alternative. We have only had 3 days rest since the previous game, so I am going to have to keep a little bit of an eye on fitness with this upcoming run of matches. We've got Sunderland, and we've got another away game straight after this. But anyway, let's see how we fare in this game today. Sunderland have some real quality. They are the kind of team that I half expect to kind of come into this game and really turn around their season by beating us. There was part of me that maybe wondered, should I play the more conservative 5 at the back system and look to counter like last season? But we have really continued to play this system that you've seen today throughout the entirety of the season so far. And I don't really want to deviate it. That certainly wasn't the original plan. I thought we might have to play on the counter more. But even with that Millwall game, I don't want to change what's not broken. Have noticed in this game, despite being the home team, Sunderland are forced to play in a way kind of blue. In this game here, I thought Quinones was going to win a header. Does that give us some kind of psychological advantage? You know, the fact we've not let them wear their home kit at home. I feel like that has to give us a mental edge. Is Julio on? Is he on? He scores? I'm waiting to see the linesman on the far side. Okay, he has now raised the flag. That was one of those goals where it's a great finish, but I think it was kind of obvious just by how kind of out on his own he was very clearly offside. What would be very annoying now is, having had that goal ruled out and chalked off, if Sunderland now go on the attack and just score up the other end immediately. Instead, Home reads it nicely, maybe we can create another chance. We've done it once. We just need to learn the offside rule and go and do it again. Akdag through the middle. Gomez. Nice play here. That's a great pass to Mundell, who's got this overlap on the right-hand side. A little bit isolated, but picks out Alexic, who plays it in. Hardy saves it once. He clears it off the line. That was actually a real opportunity, but we do get to relieve the pressure a little bit. I mean, where is Julio going here? The answer is nowhere. The highlight ends. 15 minutes played here. The rain is lashing down in the north. But I'm hoping we are going to be able to cause an upset. Look, this is familiar kind of weather for us. We're acclimatised to this. Sassy, you're familiar at this point. You've been in the UK long enough. He picks up Maseni. It's blocked. Back to Maseni. Sassy goes down in a heap. It's another great chance for us. I think there was an offside in there anyway. But, oh, are we going to regret missing these chances? We're almost half an hour into this game and there's not been a shot on target. But you know what? Away from home against Sunderland, we've been, I'd argue, the better team, at least in terms of the highlights we've been shown, even if possession hasn't been our forte. Well, this has been an awful game of football. It's half-time. There's not been a shot on target. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm going to tell the players I'm far from pleased. I don't think I want to change anything up just yet. It's one of those ones where, in isolation, this result, when you look at the league table, is maybe not all that pleasing. But off the back of our third defeat of the season against Millwall, a difficult away game to a Sunderland team that do have some real quality, I feel like I'd almost take a draw. And I don't know if that's controversial. Obviously, I would take a draw. I'd love much more. We might be able to make something happen here. Hardy with the goal kick, plays it forward. Aguiar wins the header. BJS through, one-on-one. It's the least sexy goal you've ever seen, unless a hippo in a bikini is sexy to you, in which case, this goal is that in footballing form. I don't know what I'm waffling about. The ball's played forward to Aguiar. He wins the flick on. That is what he is there to do, as that big, meaty forward. I feel like we have missed his physical presence at points this year. For moments like that, having got our noses ahead, I feel like I'm going to make some changes here. Haddad's on a booking. I don't like that. Let's bring O'Loughlin back into the team. Zongo at defensive mid has been brought in with Cardozo's suspension. He has not played that well today, so I'm going to bring in Gordon. Gordon was a player who I didn't anticipate would play much this year, to be honest, but I've been giving him some opportunities and he's been developing quite nicely. I am looking in the fullback areas at O'Connor and Sassy thinking, let's just get in some fresh legs. I'm going to bring in Jimenez. I'm going to bring in Juve as well. I'm kind of half tempted just to start them a little bit deeper as just fullbacks here, just to really try and see out this game now. I just feel like in reverting back to a 4-2-3-1 here, it sets us up maybe to play on the counter a little bit more as well. I don't want to leave space behind my fullbacks. I have to assume at some point Sunderland really are going to go for this game. I mean, I say that. We're 72 minutes into this game. They've literally just had their first shot on target of the match. 10 minutes left here at the Stadium of Light. We are still, I say, holding on. Sunderland haven't really created nearly as much as I expected in this game. Made a few changes. They've worked in our favour. I'm going to bring in the 19-year-old centre-back / centre defensive mid option here in Knowles, just in place of Fram for some fresh legs at the back. And what I was going to say, I hope we can now just hold on and ride this out. Sunderland do have a throw-in in a dangerous area, but we have wrestled back possession. Julio has gifted it to them. What is that? Clear it. We kick it against Talby. This is still dangerous. Gomez shoots. That's the first time I've truly felt worried in this game. Right, you know what? Balance mentality, 5 minutes left. Just see this out now, lads. That was a little bit of a scare there. But I think this is all done, to be honest. It's not a pretty result. It's not a great result. You know what? It is a great result. The performance, less so. But we've kept a clean sheet. We've scored a goal. That's all you have to do to win. QPR in third, drew against Blackburn. I think they were second going into this game week and they've just dropped a place. Annoyingly, Millwall and Burnley both won, so they are keeping up with us. We do still have a nice little gap, though, to this pack trailing us. But I will say, from Middlesbrough through to Burnley, so from second through to ninth, there is 6 points separating the teams. I'm kind of glad we're not involved in that scrap. At least right now. You know, I don't want to jinx it. There's still a lot of the season left. Anyway, after that midweek game against Sunderland, we've got another trip now to Turf Moor to take on a Burnley side who are there towards the top of the table. After that, Wolves at home await. 2 down, 2 to go, but we are playing the teams in second and fourth up next. Okay, game number 3 today. First versus second, away against Burnley. This is not easy. Missing Ambrosio, missing Cardozo, Garcia is injured too. That is 3 of our normal starters. I did just notice that for the last couple of games, I didn't notice this. Apparently Aguiar and Maseni had been swapped around. Did anyone notice that? Loads of people probably left YouTube comments about it. Does that even make sense as a thing? Maseni playing as a centre attacking mid, but then an attacker out of possession, and then a gear playing deeper. That just doesn't make sense to me. I'll swap them back around to the way they're meant to be. If we now win this next game, that's the reason we lost to Millwall. Admittedly, right, at a glance, the difference between this, and if I just swap them around, and this is not immediately obvious. I guess it's what I get for asking the staff to pick the 11 and then editing it from there to sort out my squad. Anyway, in terms of team news for this one, I did rest up the players off that last game, and I am not making any changes to the starting 11. That does mean that Home is staying in the team. Lachlan has been playing international football, and it has meant he hasn't really got the rests that he normally does during the kind of international breaks with 9 natural fitness. I feel like managing his minutes probably isn't a bad idea. Ladies and gentlemen, it's raining in Football Manager. I have got a question for you guys. If you're playing Football Manager this year, are you seeing loads of rain in your matches? And if you are, what country are you managing in? I've seen people in England having this issue. I've seen people in Spain having this issue. Is it an issue everywhere, or is this like an England and Spain rain issue? Maybe it's a simulation of global warming and, you know, the collapse of the environment. I hope not. That's very deep, isn't it, for a Football Manager video? Burnley have just missed a sitter. I do wonder if this is the kind of game where maybe I should have been electing to play the counter-attacking kind of more defender-heavy system. I've not gone for it this game, and it's a lot harder now to shift to that system. At the same time, we've been the top goal scorer in the league for a reason, and I want to try and keep that style of play going. The ball's played in. Sassy at left wing-back scores. You know what? We're not playing more defensive. Let's get our wing-backs forward. Let's see them on the score sheet. I'm going to say it now. Advanced wing-backs quickly becoming one of my favourite roles this year in Football Manager. That is Sassy's 4th goal in 17 games this season from left-back. I feel a bit bad for Diouf. We signed him from West Ham. Probably thought he was going to be a starter, and the Tunisian has stolen his spot. I mean, we've got an early goal here, but we can't really afford to rest on our laurels. I know we won that last game against Sunderland 1-0. I don't feel like that's a sustainable way for us to play. I feel like that was maybe a reflection of Sunderland from an attacking point of view, not being great this year. Defensively, we've lost that solidity, and I'll tell you what, our defence is liquid there. Jordan Scott's just had our pants down. He picks up the ball in the wide area, and he just goes on a salsa dance through our defence. They're all left, just with their feet in knots. He skips past everyone, and Hardy was not stopping that one-on-one effort. Jordan Scott, he is a regen. Look at his physicals. He's very good, isn't he? Well, that moment of brilliance has cut the gap, hasn't it? We were ahead not for very long, and now Burnley looking maybe to put the pressure on us further. Korolev with the ball in a wide area. We didn't deal with the initial throw-in. Scott heads it in. It's blocked once. It falls back to him. Is he not offside? Can we draw a line there, please? Did that deflect off a defender to reach him? I could be mistaken it. This looked really, really offside to me here. Scott heads it back. It's because it's deflected off the defender after the initial shot. Home has put a foot on it. I'm not sure in real life if that would or wouldn't be offside when it's deflected that much. I think he is technically on. I will say that is a really disappointing goal to concede. It's Scott's 2nd of the game. Statistically, Burnley are killing me right now. I'm really tempted to do something controversial after 20 minutes. Is it too controversial if I just go back to what I know? If I go back to the 5 at the back and just try and hit on the counter? This is the system we played last season. And I feel like this is a game maybe to try it in. I'm going to give a team talk to Lachlan of I've got faith in him. I don't know if I can give a team talk to Maseni as he comes off the pitch apologising for the fact we're subbing him off after 20 minutes. But Burnley have been killing us in this game. And I feel like a 3rd centre-back just to try and shore things up, setting ourselves up for the counter, because they are committing men forward. It's just a sensible play. This is the kind of thing where it either works and the YouTube comments call me a genius, or Burnley kill us in this game and everyone calls me a moron. Scott nearly had a hat-trick there. Julio with the ball at his feet, looking to relieve a little bit of pressure for us, the left winger. He's very, very isolated here, but that is unfortunately a side effect of us being a little bit more conservative in the midfield. That said, a little give and go with Sassy is nice. He's running into the space. He goes on his own. Oh my word, he nearly scored. 10 minutes left of this second half. We've definitely stopped Burnley creating quite as much in this game with the changes that we've made. Naturally, though, I do need to see us creating a little bit of something going forward. Maybe we can do it here. Sassy to Julio. The left attacking mid, looking to find some space. Skips past his man, squares it. Oh, I don't know how that's not gone in. I don't know how that's not gone in. A corner shot, the keeper parried it off the line. It stays 2-1. I'm half expecting the highlight to end, and it does end. That was another real opportunity. It's Julio on the near side. Oh, no, he's gone down in a heap. I thought, he is in agony. Can they kick the ball out, please? This is disgraceful. Dirty Burnley. Our left attacking mid is on the floor. He has hurt himself there. And they're just playing on. They do not give a monkeys. The ball's played forward. Ivanovic shoots. He scores. It's disgraceful. This is a disgrace. Although I will say, if after this goal I'm not prompted to take Julio off, why is he diving and pretending he's injured? The ball was played forward to him. He's gone in a heap. Meanwhile, Ivanovic scores at the other end. He's got a knock. I think he could technically play on. I don't really want to use another stoppage in this first half. I just need Quinones to last till half-time. Now, annoyingly, up until the moment they scored that third goal, I thought we'd turned a bit of a corner in that game. The momentum had started to go in our favour, and they killed it. I have noticed Quinones is injured. So is Sassy at left wing-back. What are they doing to my left wingers? I mean, I don't really want to risk things here, so we're going to bring in Silva out on the left-hand side. Nicolas Silva, a man who I am keen to give more minutes to. He has scored 5 goals this season. I guess we'll bring in Juve at left wing-back as well. I don't really want to change much more in this game at half-time. I'm going to get shouty. We're going to dive into the second half. We need 2 goals away from home. This is going to be a challenging 45 minutes, I imagine. Okay, 2 minutes into this half. If Burnley get another immediately, it's kind of good night. And on to the next game, I fear. Masenko bringing the ball forward. The number 18 with a lot of space here to try and pick out a ball. He floats it in. Back post Scott takes a touch, shoots. It's blocked. And Charlie Holland scores that. You know what? Fair enough. It just wasn't our day today. I thought maybe we'd got a bit of luck for the first time all game here when Scott shot and it hit the woodwork, or rather was blocked. Instead, it deflects to Holland. He volleys it. And then it goes in off the woodwork. The keeper had no chance. I mean, it might be really defeatist here. I'm kind of tempted just to bring in a load of youngsters who I want to give some game time to because, yeah, this game is just done. Let's bring in Jimenez. Let's bring in Gordon. That's all my subs done. We're only 5 minutes into the second half. So a long half an hour left of this game now. I've got more attacking for what it's worth. When you look at the stats, I feel like we've been a bit unlucky. 7 minutes left in this game. I feel like Burnley have shown a little bit of restraint and maybe a little bit of mercy here to not really keep pushing in this game. They are going to close the gap on us towards the top. It could still get worse. Scott's still not got a hat-trick, thankfully. I mean, at this point, I'm just hoping that injuries to our left-sided players aren't too serious. Of course, we're already without Maria Garcia at right wing-back. I don't really want to lose Sassy as well. When you look at the match momentum, 4-1 to them is mental. I actually feel like the tactical changes we made worked quite well in terms of shoring things up at the back, but obviously from an attacking point of view, definitely not an ideal game. Burnley are now only 6 points behind us. QPR are only 7 points behind us. I mean, Wolverhampton Wanderers, we play in the next game. They could move to within 7 points of us too. Sassy's out for 1 to 2 days. Julio's out for 1 to 2 days. The good news is our next game is a week away, so they should both be back. Wolves are one of the informed teams in the Championship, probably the worst team I could be taking on at this moment in time. We feel a little bit vulnerable, but we are at home. I really want to start off December with a win. Okay, 4th game today. We really need a win. One thing I do want to talk about really quickly is just how well our team is training. I don't know if it's kind of obvious as I go through the various different players in episodes. There is just green arrows across the board. There are players just developing left, right and centre, which I suppose is somewhat expected when you have a young squad like ours. One player who's been a bit of a breakout player this year is this man. Sassy at left wing-back has just signed a new deal at the club. He's kind of the first player who I'd argue is kind of moving on to the new wage structure at the team. £6,000 even 6 months ago was like probably the second highest earner at the club. I think that is going to be the going rate for a regular starter for us. He is a player who I felt like was always in Maria Garcia's shadow, but with his recent developments, he looks solid now at left back. I feel like a little bit like Garcia, he's never going to be the best from a technical defensive point of view. You know, the tackling and marking just aren't really there. But in terms of raw athleticism and some really good mentals, he is really solid. And in fact, going forward, I'd argue he's probably better than Maria Garcia. In terms of the team for this game, O'Loughlin back in the game at centre-back alongside Haddad. O'Connor still filling in at right wing-back. Maria Garcia fit enough to play 45 minutes, so he will be on the bench today for the first time all episode. I am wondering if I want to change things up in the final third, but Cardozo is still suspended, Ambrosio is out injured. Creti, who maybe could have played at right back, is also injured with a cold. So I think this is the team we're going to go with today. Maybe a temptation to try the counter-attacking style of play against Wolves. They are the 4th favourites for promotion, and it might be naive and stupid. I just want to try and play our brand of football when we can, especially at home. I will also just say as we head into this game, if you are enjoying today's video, please go down below and show it some love with a like and a comment. Let me know your favourite player of the series so far. It does help feed the video into the algorithm, especially these longer episodes where there are more matches. It is a little bit more work to get done. It's good to know that people get to this point in the video. So yeah, favourite player of the series down below. I think for me, it could be Prince Will. I know he's long gone now. I miss him. Let's get ready to rumble, taking on Wolves here, hoping we can get off to a flying start. The highlight here at kickoff is not ending. Is there going to be early drama? If there is, I hope it's in our favour. Sassy, on a new contract, getting it forward, fizzes it in. Oh, Julio's shot is blocked off the line. It's a golden opportunity, and then Fram has murdered a man in the middle. Right, you know what? I've seen enough. Encourage the players immediately. Out of possession, Wolves do play a 4-1-4-1, so they are going to have the midfield very, very congested. I do wonder if trying to play the ball out from the back rather than to the flanks might be the approach here. We might tinker with that in a moment. But unfortunately for us, right here and now, they're on the attack. Marcos Antonio is an absolute baller in game, as is Durasinmi, whose shot is saved by Hardy. Sassy throw in. But I tell you what, Wolves have a very good team on paper. Plenty of players I recognise as at least good in Football Manager. Oh my word, that's a ball. There's players in the middle. Aguiar's there. How's he missed it? That is atrocious. He's been pretty good in today's episode, I feel like, Aguiar. Admittedly, it's not been difficult chances he's scored, but he's got a couple of assists, he's got a couple of goals, he's been solid. That finish there is the first moment where I look at things and go, you absolute wally. Anyway, we're trying to get the ball forward here. BJS almost on the end of it, but Haddad mops up the pieces. Fram back to Haddad. I do feel like Cardozo's presence in the midfield is maybe missed, although Aguiar knocks it down. Maseni, Quinones, Aguiar, oh my word. That was a lovely interplay between the attackers. What about that for a goal? The ball was in the air initially. Aguiar challenges, nods it down. Maseni chests it forward to Julio, who volleys it. I thought it might have been offside. The flag's not raised. I'm not going to complain. That's a great little finish. I loved Maseni's first touch to chest it down there. Not bad for a player with 9 first touch. Okay, 31 minutes played in this game. At the moment, not regretting the decision to play a more attacking system. And, well, if we can get another, I really won't regret it. Julio is going for a merry dance. The number 20 shoots. He nearly did that last episode, or rather last match as well, didn't he? What about that for an effort? Lucas Zidane in goal for them has to deny what would have been a goal of the season contender. Wolves have had their fair share of chances in this game. We've just not really seen them as highlights, and they could be on the attack here. This is scary. It's fizzed in, and Durasinmi was never going to miss from there. Is he doing a chicken celebration? Am I getting mugged off? That was absolutely outrageous, as was, I'm going to be honest, our defending here. Is this... I mean, this is just a 1.0 XG chance, surely. I don't know what Hardy was doing in goal. 1-1, 5 minutes left. Wolves on the attack, but they are going to leave themselves maybe open to some counter-attacks. Julio trying to make something happen, going on his lonesome, being a greedy bugger, but I don't mind it because he's got the ability to back it up. Imagine if he scores it. He doesn't score, he turns provider. What about that for an assist? It's Aguiar's 10th goal in 12 games. It's only Julio's 3rd assist of the season. What about this for a run? Like that is just fun, isn't it? He's just gone on a wander. He's like Messi on this near side, plays inside. Aguiar does not miss those, except earlier where he did miss one of those. 2-1 to the good. I'm just going to tell the players are doing well, but we can do better. I'm going to tell them, you're doing well, you can do more. I've got faith in you. Give me green, happy, smiley faces. There is still a lot of football to be played in this game, so I don't want to get carried away just yet, but at the same time, how can you not be enjoying this? We've played some nice football in this game. I'm desperate for a win, though. Obviously, won against Sunderland, haven't won besides that result. A win here would be delightful. BJS, O'Connor, a right wing back, blocked. Julio hits the crossbar. Fram could have a shot here if he wants to from the edge. He doesn't. Oh my word, we nearly scored another within a minute of the restart. 30 minutes left in this game. I'm going to bring in Garcia. I want to try and build up his match sharpness. Messenia has not had the best game today at centre attacking mid. I don't really view it as his best position, but obviously with Aguiar in form, it's the only way I can get him in the team, and with injuries, he is kind of forced to be there. Zongo's not the best of games either. I'm going to move Fram into the box-to-box playmaker role, and I'm actually going to use this as another opportunity to bring in Jimenez. He can play as a defensive midfielder. It's where we're going to deploy him. I feel like Jimenez at 18, I want to try and give some game time to. 30 minutes here is undoubtedly a risk, but I feel like he's got the quality. 2-1 up. I'm going to praise the players here with 20 minutes left. Green, happy, smiley faces across the board. One more goal here would really help me settle my nerves. I am going to change our mentality to balanced. We won by 1 goal against Sunderland. I don't care if we win by 1 goal here. I just want 3 points. Wolves have an opportunity to close the gap on us if they can do anything in what remains. But the time is ticking away. They've not really created a great deal in this second half. And whilst it's not been a classic this game, I don't really give a Scooby-Doo. We've got the win. It's 2-1. Annoyingly, I can see here Millwall have won 2-0, QPR have won 1-0, the only saving grace, Burnley have drawn. Aguiar, man of the match this game, has 10 goals now in only 8 starts and 4 sub-appearances. He really has been one of our in-form players. He's hit double figures already. He's actually not many goals off last season. Of course, last season he had some major issues with injuries, which really stopped him getting some momentum. Right now, he is looking like the man in form. As for our form, I mean, today's been a little bit hit and miss, but in terms of actual points gained, given the difficulty of the games, I'm not overly concerned. Now, we have got QPR up rather soon, but I think I'm going to skip out on that game for now and instead come back in January. Firstly, because I think it is going to be a really, really big month for us, not just on the pitch, but also when it comes to our recruitment, because depending on where we are, I might make some moves to really gun for promotion. The good news for me is I've got a weekend to worry and think about that. The bad news for you at home is you've got to wait a few days for it. But I appreciate you watching the series and I hope to see you next week. It's going to be a big one. We are still top of the championship. The wheels haven't come off the season yet, but the teams behind us have got a little bit closer. Let me know your favourite player of the series down in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I will see you next time for more. I'm out.